Hello and welcome back to Chicago Motorcars. I'm Chris Moran. Today we're taking a look at a legendary Ferrari. This is a 2008 Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano. Well, it's a crisp Chicago morning, and I am sitting behind the wheel of a legendary Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano. Now, I haven't really gone anywhere yet, but you know, once you settle into this car, you got dual power seats, these other Daytona seats, and you can see the air carbon fiber frame behind there. A ton of carbon fiber trim on the interior here. You can see the whole console is done in carbon fiber, but beautifully stitched leather. They call this color Koyo, which is kind of a natural tan color. This is the cutout for the side airbag here. But power windows and locks, as you'd expect, keyless entry, a full alarm. But the dual power seats also have some adjustments. You've got the lumbar support, and you can also collapse these side bolsters really to tailor to your frame. Once you're comfortable in the seat, you got a power tilt and telescope steering wheel here. And this steering wheel actually is a huge option as well. It's a carbon fiber steering wheel, but you have a row of LED lights at the top of the steering wheel here that will illuminate basically as a shift indicator when you're near red line. So as the lights go across, you hit the up pedal to shift. Speaking of paddles, you do have the two paddles right behind the steering wheel. Left side is down, right side is up, and it's going to shift you right through the gears. But I'm very comfortable here. I've got my automatic climate control set at 70 degrees. We do have a navigation system here that we can use to get to our next destination if we so chose, as well as the Bose sound system. But I'm going to get underway here. Let's click it into first. And one thing of interest, with a really high quality car, you actually feel this. If you can hear it, I'll be quiet, but I'm going to dip into the gas. You can actually feel the clutch come up before the engine essentially revs, which is an indicator of a fantastic clutch in a car like this. So here we go. See. Now the 599 GTB, as it's named, GT being touring, B standing for Berlinetta in Ferrari speak, but the 599 GTB is really to be a grand touring car. It's a car that's built to be something you really could drive every day, and it's that comfortable. It's actually almost rides soft for a Ferrari when you consider. But the power steering is very linear, it's very smooth. You can hear that beep there, that's the front park sensors letting me know that I'm below 5 miles an hour. Whew. Yeah, for being at a highway speed here, we're just cruising along at 55 miles an hour. It's exceptional. There's really nothing in this experience that feels any different than it was when it was new. Come up to red light here. Third, second downshift, here you go. Those carbon ceramics are total drama free. You know, they always say that that's one thing about carbon brakes, is that they kind of diminish their intensity when they're cold. Obviously, being an everyday supercar, you know, it's tough to know what to expect, but you really don't miss anything in the way of creature comforts. Dual zone automatic climate control, fantastic Bose sound system, got the in-dash CD here. The carbon fiber trim is beautiful, but I mean, this car still has that, you know, distinct Italian leather smell. If you've had a Ferrari before, you've been in a, you know, relatively new Ferrari, you know that smell. I mean, it's just a distinct, it's like Italian leather that you get in like a Skidoni luggage set. But let's talk about that power plant under the hood. Unbelievable. It's a 6-liter V12. This engine, as it sits, makes 612 horsepower, and it's routed to the 6-speed F1 transmission here, which you can actuate with the paddles here, or it does have an automatic mode. It's routed to the rear wheels. This engine is actually derived from the architecture. It's actually the same engine as what goes into the legendary Enzo supercar. It makes a little bit more horsepower in that trim. That's 660 horse versus this being 612, but I mean, that difference is negligible, especially on the open road. When you're getting up to a 600 horsepower V12 engine, I mean, it's something else. It doesn't feel like anything else. It's got a ton of torque. You know, V12s are extremely smooth. They're very well balanced, so their power delivery is seamless. but they just feel like they want to constantly run. You know, this car feels as fast at 100 miles an hour as it does at 30 miles an hour. But the other magic of it is that you can almost forget you're driving a Ferrari. It's that comfortable. I mean, think of how quiet it is. I'm going 52 miles an hour right now, and I'm cruising. I really don't have anything to complain about. You've got the Manatino here on the steering wheel. This takes you through all the race modes. You've got a snow mode, a slippery road mode, sport, which is what I'm in now. That's your normal drive setting. There's race, and then there's the CST kill mode, which is basically the traction and stability control. So that's for lunatics, especially with a car like this kind of power. But the drivability is fantastic. It really is. You do have a great Bose stereo in here. I was just listening to a great Led Zeppelin song in here, and it's kind of funny to hear a fantastic stereo in a Ferrari because you just don't expect it. But there it is. One thing that's awesome about the F1 in relation to this car is that it really does know how to optimize the most of the power you can get out of this car. Alright, I'm going to give it one last blast here, but this is basically going from 4th to 3rd. Down to 3rd from 56 miles an hour. 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. That's when we want to make sure. I mean, obviously I'm on a private race course here, but if I was on a public road, I'd be nervous about getting a ticket. So I think I'm in the clear. Yeah, it's awesome, and it's perfect. It's a flawless car. I mean, the experience behind the wheel of this car is flawless. There's absolutely nothing it does different than it would have than the day it left the factory. It's an awesome color combination, as most people would know. The yellow tachometer, that's another thing that's beautiful on this car that I love. You can hear that beep when I come to the stop. I don't know if you've heard that over the video, but the park distance controls front and rear. So it comes on, I think, when you get below 5 miles an hour. But, I mean, there's really no wear and tear to talk about. Tires are brand new. It's up to date on service. It's extremely well equipped. And that clutch is, like, brand new. It feels brand new. So now I'm in 6th gear going 55 miles an hour. And let's just say I'm on my cruise home. I'm going to turn the air back on here, put the heat on. I don't know. If I was in the market for this car, it wouldn't even be available because I'd already purchased it by now. I absolutely love this car. It's the evolution of the 12-cylinder Ferraris. And to be front-engined, I mean, the way you drive it, the engine's in the front, obviously, and it's kind of a longer nose, but you sit basically right in front of the rear wheels. So when you really are getting on this and it pitches a little bit sideways, just the overall dynamic feel of the car when you drive it is different than having a rear engine Ferrari 430, say that. Because if you've ever driven a Ferrari 430, you'd know what that feels like. But the power is unbelievable, the condition's unbelievable. It's completely stock. It doesn't have aftermarket exhaust or intake, or it hasn't been lowered. The set of wheels, they're really painted to match the car. The carbon ceramics are a huge option and very desirable to resell. I don't know. I usually like finding flaws. Ooh, there's one, and I'll show you a picture of it right here. It's a little scuff in the clear bra on the front, but that really is the extent of the imperfections on this car.